What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. Okay, so we're going to cover some more Blade on the channel. We only covered one Blade story the entire time I've been on YouTube, and that was The Daughter of Blade. A great storyline, but there are so many great stories when it comes to the character Blade that we have to cover. Now, I want to cover the latest Blade series that Marvel gave us a couple years ago. And honestly, this is a great book. So let's go ahead and dive into today's story. And so we do pick up with a young girl at a bar. Now, when it comes to this young girl, she's currently at the bar trying to drink her problems away. But while at the bar, she realized that everyone around her begins to act differently. They begin to act very strange. And that is the moment she realized that she is surrounded by a bunch of vampires who are now beginning the process of coming after her, trying to kill her, and she's of course freaking out a whole lot. But luckily for the girl, Blade arrived just in time to protect her. Now let me tell y'all, this is a great opening sequence for the character because Blade just busts right in, and honestly, homeboy gets to work very fast, just cutting off heads and arms like it is nothing to him. And these vampires, they believe they have the ability to take him down, but Blade said, bring it. Bring it on. And homeboy's just cutting away like it's Thanksgiving dinner. Either way, once he is done, he grabs the girl and they get the heck out of there. So after that, we do see the young girl and Blade in Blade's car heading somewhere. We have no idea where just yet, but she does ask Blade, why in the world were the vampires trying to kill me for? And Blade's like, dude, I was hoping you could tell me because I have no idea why they came after you. But hey, I was told to help you. And she's wondering, why in the world were you told to help me out for? And so we have to jump back 1 week ago to kind of learn why in the world is Blade trying to help out this young lady. And so when we do jump back in the past, we see Blade meeting up with a werewolf known as Tanaka. Now, when it comes to Tanaka, Blade had relied on this person a lot over the years. And so this is Tanaka saying, you owe me one. I need your help. I need you to find this young girl, and her name is Dana Smith. So now we know the name of our mysterious woman. But you have Tanaka say, there are different groups out there who are trying to get her. Now I have no idea why, but I was told by the elders to hopefully find her. And because you owe me one, I need your help finding her. Now Blade agrees, but Blade realized that this seems very fishy with the whole idea that you're going to tell me there are different groups out there trying to get this one girl and you have no idea why. On top of that, those different groups came to her apartment looking for her, killed off her boyfriend, and turned her boyfriend into a deadly weapon to use just in case she comes back home. You have no idea what in the world is going on? And Tanaka says, no, I don't. But you do have Blade agree, but tell Tanaka, if I find out you're lying to me, I am going to kill you. And so getting back over to the present day, we do see Blade and the young girl at a safe house. And you have the young girl continuing to tell Blade that she has no idea why there are different groups trying to come after her. Now, when it comes to Blade, he wants to know, did she actually see her attackers? What did they look like so that he is able to realize when they are nearby so he can protect her better? Except before she's able to explain what she saw, out of nowhere, a warrior appears. Now, this warrior is not speaking a language that Blade knows. And so, unfortunately, we have no idea what this guy or woman is saying to us or to Blade. And so you have the two characters fight against each other, while you have Dana try her best to just get out of the way, to stay out of the way to protect herself. But as the fight goes on, Dana's face begins to change. And when I say her face is changing, I don't mean like her actual face appearance, really more the idea of her expression. She's no longer scared. She began to smile a whole lot. And then out of nowhere, there's a huge bright light. And we kind of find out that Dana is not really a good person, or possibly there's some kind of being inside of her that is currently controlling her body. Because she tells Blade, my name is not Dana, my name is Adana. Now we also learn the warrior that Blade was fighting against was a warrior that had trained his entire life for this particular day to stop Adana. The sword that is currently in her hands right now was the only weapon that could actually stop her. And so now it seems like Blade is in real trouble. Now we already know our boy is not going to give up that quickly. And so he cuts off Adana's head, thinking it would kill her. It doesn't. She gets right back up, puts the head back on her shoulders, and just beats down on Blade very easily. And then she walks out the front door. And here comes the crazy part next. She then cuts open her skin and then rips it off to reveal a different kind of body, which possibly is Adana, the being that was inside Dana. Either way, when it comes to our new character, she begins to walk away, and we're left to wonder, what kind of powerful monster did Blade just let loose on the entire world? What can our own hero here do to actually stop this creature? And so then we jump forward 13 days later, and we pick up in Cambodia. Really, we pick up in COPPA Mountains, which is in Cambodia. But we do pick up with a group known as Khmer Rogue. Now, when it comes to the Khmer Rogues, they were the ones who had trained that warrior to go after Adana. Now, we already know that warrior had failed, but now we pick up with his sister, Rata, and she wants to replace her brother to go out there in the world to find Adana and actually stop her. The problem is, Rata was not trained like her brother was, which means she's not even ready to go toe-to-toe with Adana. But the second problem is the metal, the sword that they have made. The only sword that is able to stop Adana is with Adana. So it's kind of like, what can you really do? The weapon is gone, and also you were not trained to fight against her. And she says, let me have the prisoner. Let me use the prisoner to stop Adana. Now, we can tell the prisoner is Blade, but you had him tell her, no, you are not ready. She did not like that answer at all. And so she goes ahead and kills off the entire group to only release Blade, to ask Blade, are you going to help me stop Adana before she brings the end to the world? And Blade's like, listen, y'all been torturing me for 13 days straight. If this gets me out of here, then yes, I'm down. Let's go ahead and stop Adana. And so now we know what is going to be Blade's next mission. Now, when we jump into the second chapter, we pick up with a character known as Tulip. Now, let you know real quick, this is a new character. This is her first appearance ever in Marvel Comics. Now, when it comes to Tulip, it does seem like she's kind of in danger. Not really kind of, because she's about to get her head blown off by somebody that she had ticked off. Luckily for her, you have Blade come in and blow that guy's head off. But Blade tells her, hey Tulip, we have to talk. I need your help. Now we kind of find out real quickly that Tulip is an ex-girlfriend of Blade, but she's also an arms dealer in Japan. Now when it comes to Tulip, the reason why Blade is coming to her is because he needs a weapon to stop Adana. Because let's not forget, Adana has the only weapon that can actually stop her. And so this is Blade saying, hey, I know you are the best when it comes to different kinds of magical weapons, so can you help me out? Because I'm trying to help someone, Rata, kill off this being that I may had released into the world. Now, when it comes to Tulip, she is clairvoyant, meaning that anytime the magical world has any kind of problems, she has a dream about it. And her last dream told her something big was happening in the world. And of course, that would be Adana. Either way, you have Blade saying, can you help me out? Now, before she agrees, they get down to business. You know, the good fun business. But after having the business, you did have her agree. But she wants to talk to Rota to get a better understanding of who Adana truly is, so that she is able to create a powerful weapon to actually stop her. But before Blade and Tulip are able to leave and go meet up with Rata, well, we get to learn that Tulip has a lot of angry customers because she is unable to keep up her end of the deal a lot of times. And so one particular customer got very upset and told his men, bring her here to me now. And so while you have Blade and Tulip getting dressed, they get attacked by a bunch of different men. Now, Blade is able to use a lot of different kinds of magical weapons that Tulip has in her penthouse to take out a big portion of this group of men. But the problem is, Tulip is still grabbed and taken away. So now Blade must go meet up with Rata and then have those two leave together to go save Tulip now, who had just been kidnapped. We kind of find out that she was taken away by a character known as Lord Daido, and I really hope I pronounce his name correctly. Now, when it comes to Daido, he wanted weapons that would give him the ability to kill off somebody and have that person come back to life as a zombie, but he'll be in control of that person. Now, when it came to Tulip, she agreed to the idea, but then she realized that he would have an army to himself to possibly take over the world, and that would be bad for her business. And so she declined his offer. He did not like that, and so he wants those weapons really bad. Now she's able to realize why he wants those weapons so badly for, because of Adana. This shows how scary this actual being truly is, because now you have Lord Daido here saying, listen, I'm scared of her, but I'll be scared of her later. Right now, I need some powerful weapons on my side. I need a powerful army on my side, and you will give me those weapons that I had requested for. Now, while he's demanding her, well, that is the moment you have Blade arrive with Rota, and you do have the two characters begin to go on a rampage through Lord Daido's house, except at the very tail end of the second chapter, when it comes to Blade about to fight against Lord Daido, we kind of find out that he has this magical tongue that is able to go into your mind. Not literally, it's really more of he wraps his tongue around your neck and then he's able to go into your mind. It's honestly really disgusting, but that is his ability. And so as we dive into the third chapter for today's video, we do pick up with Adana, who arrived in Romania. Now, when she does arrive in Romania, it is a random location, and she does tell her driver to leave her there. Now, she tells us that she knows the big battle is about to come very soon, that she can smell the fear when it comes to her enemies. Either way, she's then surrounded by a group of students of Doctor Strange. Now, these students, they know they are going to lose. They know they don't have the ability to stop Adana. We know that. She knows that. And so even though at first they do try, and it seems like they might have a chance, though that chance goes away very quickly, because you have Adana just begin the process of burning them alive, just summoning flames on their body just like that. Bam. These students are dying right in front of her, and that brings enjoyment to her. And she says, well, I have to go now and continue on with my day. Now we do jump back over to Blade, and like we saw at the very end of the last chapter, Blade was getting his mind possessed by Daido. Now that was Daido's first appearance ever in Marvel Comics in the last chapter. This is going to be his final appearance in Marvel Comics, because you have Blade being able to kill him off just like that. He was able to overcome the mind control that Daido was trying to do. And once you have Blade kill off Daido, he tells Tulip and Rota, okay, it's time for us to leave. We need to talk about the idea of you, Tulip, giving us a weapon to stop Adana. And so then we see our heroes go to a nearby restaurant. Now, when they do, you do have Tulip tell Blade and Rotha about a weapon that may have the ability to actually kill off Adana. And that weapon used to belong to the devil, Lucifer, when he was still an angel fighting alongside with God. And because Lucifer was God's greatest warrior, he gave Lucifer a powerful weapon known as Lightbringer. Now the weapon is so powerful, it has the ability to split almost anything in half. And so when it comes to Tulip, that could be the one weapon that could possibly stop Adana. The problem is though, even though the weapon is on Earth, it was actually collected by a guy known as Hamilton Achilles. Now, when it comes to Hamilton, he had collected different kinds of magical weapons, and because of that, he now lives on a train that is constantly moving around and going 150 miles per hour. So if Blade wants to get the Lightbringer sword, he has to get on that train to steal the weapon away from Hamilton. Now, while you have Tulip telling Blade all this information, they are attacked out of nowhere by another group of members of the Khmer Rogue, the same clan that Rotha came from. Now, the reason why they are attacking our heroes because one, Blade was their prisoner, and two, Rotha did kill off a good chunk of their clan to only free Blade, and so they want to kill her and, well, possibly capture Blade all over again for the crimes that he has committed. Now, while you do have our heroes working together to fight against these guys, well, they realize there's someone else there nearby helping them by using magic. And out of nowhere, you have Doctor Strange appear. Now, he's very upset with Blade because apparently Strange knows a lot about Adana, and he knows if she has been released into the world, that means the possible end to the entire world. And so it's Strange saying, hey, we gotta talk about your biggest mistake you have ever made. And so when we jump into the fourth chapter, well, we pick up with Doctor Strange, Blade, Tulip, and also Rotha having a conversation about their plan on how they are going to get on the train. And of course, it's just going to be Doctor Strange opening up a portal to allow our other heroes to get on there. Now, before Strange does that for Blade, you have Strange express the idea of how upset he is with Blade. Because again, it was Blade's fault that Adana was released into the world. And even though it was a mistake for Doctor Strange, he's kind of like, dude, you release a being into the world that has the ability to destroy all reality if she has the chance. But on top of that, there were some other sorcerers who were left in my charge. As we saw earlier, they got murdered by her. And so this is Doctor Strange saying, I am very upset with you. Matter of fact, I liked you better when you were the sheriff of the vampire town a while back. But here you are now, messing everything up for our world. So yes, I'm going to help you get on that train to get the sword of Lucifer, Lightbearer, to basically use it against Adana. But I'm telling you right now, I am very upset with you. Now, before Strange lets Blade go to get Lucifer's sword, he does tell Blade, hey, by the way, Hamilton, the one who has Lucifer's sword, yeah, he's also a vampire. So maybe this can work out for you to kind of help you release all your anger from your childhood trauma. And then he sends Blade and his friends on his way. Now, really, most of the fourth chapter is really more Blade, Tulip, and also Rotha working together to kill off all the vampires, all the trade that work for Hamilton, so that they will be able to get Lucifer's blade. Now, when it comes to Hamilton, he tells Blade, hey man, listen, I want you to know that when it comes to Adana, she is talking to everyone right now. Like, we all can hear her voice. If you are part of the second world, meaning you're a vampire, werewolf, or even a sorcerer, you are able to hear her voice. Now, Blade, apparently you are unable to hear her voice, but I'm telling you right now, she wants you to get the sword of Lucifer. She wants you to try to use it against her. This was all her plan. Every single step you take is part of her plan. So I'm telling you right now, you should probably stop. Now, when it comes to Hamilton, he's like, hey, by the way, I hate the idea of giving away weapons that I own, especially powerful weapons like Lucifer's sword. But you do have Blade try to fight against Hamilton. But the fight does not last that long. And the reason why? Because Hamilton kills himself for Adana, so that Blade will be able to get Lucifer's sword to hopefully bring it over to her. And so after Blade is able to get Lucifer's sword, you did have Doctor Strange appear. Now, this is Strange telling Blade that he had closed his eyes, that he saw a possible future. And when it comes to this possible future, he already knows that Blade and him both do not want the things he saw to actually happen. And so he tells Blade, you need to leave the sword behind, or at least give the sword over to me. Because if you take that sword right over to Adana, it is only going to make things a whole lot worse. But you have Blade being really prideful moment right now, saying, no, I have to do this. It's my fault that I had released her. It's up to me to bring her down. Now, it is Doctor Strange telling us that Blade is usually very prideful, but because he did pick up the blade of Lucifer, he's gaining a whole lot more pride than he had in the past. And so he's really down with the idea of being the one to go stop Adana. And Strange realized that he can't do anything to stop Blade. And so he tells Blade, all right, fine. If you want to go out there and try it, be my guest. And you have Strange leave. And right after you have Strange leave, you then have Blade head over to where Adana is at. And when he does arrive, well, this begins the process of the final battle, or possibly just round one against Adana and Blade. Now, when we jump into the fifth and final chapter, well, we pick up after Blade had already lost to Adana. And no, this is not me skipping over the entire fight to say, hey, you know what, let's move this video along. No, when you jump into the fifth chapter, well, the battle is already over. He lost. And when it came to Adana, she was able to get the blade of Lucifer. Now you do have Doctor Strange find Blade, and he tells Blade, dude, you have really messed up. Like, you don't understand how bad things are across the world. Because what Adana is trying to do is release all the evil inside of people. People who had no idea that they were part of the second world. Meaning that they had no idea that they were part werewolf, or part vampire, or part some other kind of creature. But to also bring out the evil in regular people as well. And so that's her end goal right there. And so when it comes to Doctor Strange, he tells Blade, what you have done is literally, and I mean literally, a huge mistake. Now, Blade is wondering, okay, what happened to my friends? What happened to Tulip and also Rotha? And you have Strange say, oh, Rotha is okay, but Tulip is not okay at all. Matter of fact, let me show you what happened to her after Adana had beat you down. But before we are able to see what happened to Tulip or what happened to even Rotha, we have to jump over to Adana. And when we do, we see that she is really building up an army for herself to begin the process of taking over the world. You are talking about the idea of different people who are part of the second world in their own kind of way. And some of these folks, they had no idea they had a connection to the second world. But either way, now they do, and now they're under her control. This is her beginning the process of trying to take over the world. And everyone is just there. Now, when it comes to Odana, she's trying to change what the word evil truly means. Because to her, evil is a great word. Evil is a beautiful word. But when it comes to us, the human race, we believe that evil is such a horrible thing. To her, we believe that evil is someone unkind, and that's not true to her. And so we didn't see her begin to build up her army. But getting back over to Blade and also Doctor Strange, we come to find out that after Blade had lost to Adana, well, Adana put a demon inside Tulip, and that demon is bound to her soul. And so, unfortunately, really, Blade cannot get the soul out of her, neither can Doctor Strange. Now, luckily for Tulip, Strange does have an amulet that's able to kind of tame the beast inside of her, but that beast will always be there for her. That demonic being will always punish her in some kind of way. But either way, you do have Blade saying, listen, I need to find Adana. What I have done is very horrible when it comes to the rest of the world. It's my fault she's in the world right now, in our dimension, on our Earth. It's up to me to stop her. And so you have Blade and Doctor Strange being able to sit down and have a conversation with one another. Now, when it comes to Strange, he's trying to convince Blade that it is a bad idea to even try to go find Adana, because the last time Blade saw her, he got his butt kicked. But this is Blade saying it's my fault that she has begun the process of turning everyone purely evil, unlocking their darker side to the second world. And he also opened up a gate that can help her achieve her ultimate goal. It's up to me to actually stop her. And when you have Strange saying, but how are you going to do that? Because you have no weapons, you have no powers, you don't really have anything that can affect her in some kind of way. Like, the only weapon that could have stopped her was lost in the first chapter. The second weapon that we still have no idea could possibly work on her is now in her possession. But you have Blade continuing to bother Strange, saying, send me over to her now. And so you have Doctor Strange send Blade over to the dimension that Adana is not really hiding at, she's just chilling there. And she knew that Blade would come back for revenge after getting his butt kicked. But when it comes to Adana, she wants to have a conversation with Blade to kind of explain why she's doing all of this for. And again, she just wants the idea of people to stop hiding their evil side, their connection to the second world. And so when it comes to Adana, she's like, listen, we can fight again, but you are going to lose again to me. So let me go ahead and explain things to you before I send you back home packing. The only thing I want to do is to save the people who are hiding from the second world. Blade, you are one of those people. And she's right, because Blade is half vampire, half human. And she's like, I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to give you the ability to walk freely across the world, because the world fears you and other people like you. But Blade does not care. And so you have Blade try his best to break free, but Adana easily beats him down again. So then you have Blade go pay a visit to the one person who could possibly help him defeat Adana, because Blade realized what he has to do. Blade realized that he has to learn about all the powers that he never actually sat down to learn. Of course, the only person who could teach him that would be Dracula. And this is crazy, because now you are talking about the idea of Blade teaming up with his arch nemesis to hopefully find a way to stop Adana. This is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.